Hey everyone, welcome to the LGBTQ Voice. I'm Tracy Welch alongside Eileen Dugas. Each week, we invite guests on the show. We talk about resources, events, health and wellness, and what's happening in and around the South Coast LGBTQ plus community. Hey Eileen, what's going on?
Hi, Tracy. Hi, everyone. My name is Eileen Dugas. This show is presented by the South Coast LGBTQ Plus Network. We are a nonprofit organization working with the LGBTQ plus groups and allied organizations to build and maintain a comprehensive network for LGBTQ plus individuals and families in southeastern Massachusetts. For sponsorship opportunities, please contact Leo at newbedfordguide.com. There's many different levels of sponsorships available. So again, if you have interest in sponsoring our show, reach out to Leo at newbedfordguide.com. Welcome, everyone. I'm happy to be here. And we, as always, look forward to talking with you. So if you have questions, comments, please put them in the comment section and we will get to you. Today, Tracy's going to give an update on our show focus for the summer. We will talk with our special guest who will be joining us shortly, Mimi Gonzalez, comedian, who will also be performing on Thursday night. So if you haven't registered for this free, amazing event, what are you waiting for? As soon as we are done here tonight, register. It's free. It's a fun time. We can laugh. We all need some laughter. So these times are challenging for sure. Later on, we will discuss other upcoming events, including our Me First social distancing event. And I think we have another announcement, another comedian who will be joining us. So I look forward to talking about that. So Tracy, what's going on? What are we doing?
This is great. So last year we celebrated the 50th anniversary of Stonewall, and we wanted everybody to know that the network cares about what's going on in and around our community. We strive to build and maintain a support network for ensuring that LGBT individuals and families are treated with respect and dignity. This year, for the 50th anniversary, unfortunately, it's New Bedford riots. So we want to make sure that people know in our community that, Black Lives Matter. So we're designating our shows for July and August for the Black Lives Matter movement, what's been going on. So 50 years in New Bedford, tensions were between the police officers and the Black community. A person got pulled over and the riot didn't happen then, but he was arrested and a lot of fighting was going on. But unfortunately, July 8th, 1970s, when it started, and 4 days later, unfortunately, a carload of 3 white young men went into the neighborhood and unfortunately took a shotgun, directed it into the crowd, and shot people in the crowd. And a young man, 17-year-old Lester Lima, was shot and killed. Those 3 white men were arrested, and all 3 were acquitted in 1971. So we wanted to let people know what's going on, that we talk about the LGBT community, the Black community, and we're here for you. Let us know what's going on, how we can help in any situation. We're here to assist and let people know what's going on in the community, and that's why we're having this month and next month designated to let people know what's going in and around the LGBTQ community, as well as the Black Lives Matter movement as well. You can also find an article that Standard Times did on July 5th that tells you a little bit more about it. But together, as a community, we need to end racism. So that's one of the biggest things that we're working on in the next 2 months. Eileen?
Oh, just in time. So thank you, Tracy. We decided, since we weren't able to go out and see our favorite performers this summer, we would try to bring some of them to you virtually. So welcome, Ohio-born, Michigan-raised, Cuban-Italian-American professional comedian, Mimi Gonzalez, to our show. Thank you for joining us, Mimi. Yay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for putting up with my changing. Can you tell me if Thursday is at 8 Eastern?
It sure is. It's at 8 o'clock on Thursday.
Eastern Standard Times.
I'll have a little bit more makeup on, and I might even be coming at you from a car on Thursday. Who knows? This whole thing is forcing people to learn to adapt. Just roll with it and adapt.
Oh, definitely.
Kind of life's cruel anyway, but
yeah. So I guess we're going to start with some of the questions. What are you drinking, Mimi?
Kombucha, anybody?
I just put water for tonight.
Are you constipated like
No,
I've been?
ma'am, not tonight.
Why? Why am I constipated? Because I can't let go of my shit. Life lesson.
Yeah, but you're young. You'll adjust, honey.
I'm young.
Yeah, you
I'm
gotta
older
feel
than
it.
both of you.
I don't know about that one. I'm just fat and happy, so I look a lot younger.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it fills out the wrinkles, doesn't it?
I don't know. I have my identical twin that looks a lot older than I am. So, how old were you when you discovered comedy, and how did you decide to become a comedian?
I was probably this old, kid old, when I discovered that Carol Burnett and then Lily Tomlin, and before them, the Holy Trinity, Lucille Ball. Uh, that's my Holy Trinity: Lucy, Carol, and Lily. And oh, it Lucy, because Ricky Ricardo was there and my dad was not around. There was a Cuban, and whenever I said I was Cuban, kids would always say, Babaloo, Babaloo, ah, yay.
Huh?
And then Carol Burnett and her variety show, and Lily Tomlin. Now, Tracy, are you that old? Do you know all these references?
Honey, I'm 56, so yes.
Got you beat. Eileen,
No.
do you got
She's
Tracy
not
to
proud of
beat, or
her
is
age. I love the Carol Burnett hour shows. I mean, especially the one with the curtain rod. Oh my God, that one cracks me up. I mean, Tim, they all laugh. They can't stop laughing, and they try not to like in between skits. Really good show.
I love when those characters break. So what happened for me was there was a lot of sorrow and very challenging, painful, grief-filled childhood. Um, and when there was comedy on, uh, these people brought laughter to me, and laughter changed so much. Laughter could really shift so much for me, because if it wasn't laughter, it was the exact opposite. And while I've never been diagnosed as manic depressive, my father was a psychiatrist and he diagnosed himself that way. So I don't think you have to scratch very far on the surface of most comedians to find a lot of sorrow. Um, so there's the opposite of that, and I went out and really started doing it after I got a bachelor's degree in journalism, when I really wanted a bachelor's degree in English so I could just be a creative writer. But I was also really in love with Lucy, Carol, and Lily. So there was a big draw there too. And I think when you're raised on television, um, the original latchkey kids at nobody's home. And for my single parent mom for a while, she just felt like, all right, once the kids are in school all day. So once you've got the first, second, and third grader, that's all day, not kindergarten first and second, or kindergarten, nursery, kindergarten first. Once all three of us a year apart were in school, first, second, and third grade, we came home and nobody was there until my mom got home from working as a nurse. And a nurse is one hell of a person to raise you, because you want to talk about resilience. Hey, if you're not bleeding to death, get over it. So it's kind of like, all right.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Go play. Go
with
play.
it. Say it again.
So you'll be fine. Go out and play.
That's right. I'm sick with something. Wait for it to leave. Is that a rash? It'll be over later. I mean, it's like, it was, it's a very strange life lesson to look at every gift with as a curse and a blessing. And all things come with both sides. The last therapist, that's how I will always refer to my final therapist because he was the one that really stuck and taught me the most important life lessons. He's, he's the one who's like, if you want to really see God, you have to be able to see the balance. You have to see bothness. You have to see light and dark and how they are not one without the other. So this is a show about wellness. So I get to say anything I want to say about my deeper spiritual truth because I'm old and now I don't care. Actually, I do care, but I don't care about laughs per minutes. And this is how comedy is done. And thank God for Hannah Gadsby. Thank God for that comedian from Tasmania who filled the Sydney Opera House with her brilliant truths that didn't have to always return to the jokes, folks, but she's so skilled and experienced as a comedian that she could carry the whole thing through with both. I'm very impressed with Hannah Gadsby and trying to reformat my presentation on stage into something I'm loosely calling punchlines and poetry.
Nice. Mimi, thanks for sharing that about your childhood and your upbringing. Would you say that you really were interested in getting other people to laugh, to forget about their worries and their struggles, or did that just happen?
I was in the high school parking lot and I was doing what my cousin and I always did. My cousin's a month younger than me. And when we moved out of the Detroit area, that cousin who was in the same Catholic school as me, she's the one who got class clown. But that's okay. I got it up here at the high school I went to for a year and a half anyway. Clowns and kids who just don't get enough attention go into comedy. You think you need to be famous. All my friends actually are movie stars. Jodie Foster was my best friend, which is, really needing attention because that's what we need. We need reflection. We need to look at each other. You cannot see your own face without a reflective surface. I mean, if I'm over here now, I have a pretty big nose. I can see my nose, but I can see my lip. I can't see my eyes. I can't look in my own eyes. You just can't, so it's got to be two-ness. It has to be a, kind of a reflective surface, and that's what we are to each other. So I'm in the high school parking lot, and my cousin and I were so used to doing impressions and impersonations of I was doing impersonations of the Sister Leonard, the principal, and I was a freshman in high school. And that's the cat door. I have to operate it. The cat window. And the seniors were laughing. And the seniors, like I was making friends with the seniors. They're so much cooler than freshmen. And I mean, I even got some of their senior pictures and signatures and everything. And that was the first feeling, besides laughing with your family members and your friends, to make people laugh that you didn't know. Wow. I just kind of felt like that attention and that glow, their admiration and appreciation was a glow. And I loved it. And the comedy seed was planted then, along with always wanting to write, which I'll probably bust out a couple of poems on Thursday. My God, take that note to yourself. God, poems for Thursday.
Don't worry, I'll remind you.
Yeah. So you
You know, I
performed
made an
across the
alarm to
United.
remind myself when I leave, bring a tripod, bring the headphones, bring the microphone, bring some poems, Dar. Okay.
That's all right. So you performed across the United States and various countries. What is your most memorable performance and why?
Well, now this is a strange experience. The way comedy works was a format in clubs set up by Mark Ridley of Ridley's Comedy Castle in Royal Oak, Michigan, which is a suburb of Detroit. And he came up with the formula that you have a 15-minute MC, then you have a 30-minute feature, then you have a 45-minute headliner. And when you're working the road, sometimes you don't get a 15-minute MC, you get the radio personality in the area. And road gigs are not very glamorous. They're just a way of working. You know, you're like, as one of my friends said, my dear friend Magoo, who eventually moved to New Bedford, Mass, and married Danny Galerter, my dear friend. Um, my friend Magoo called it being a journeyman, you know, and I called it being a house band. You're the kind of comic that's just like, hey, this bar in this town, Scottsboro, Alabama. I mean, Yakima, Washington. I've played the whole country just to play it. But in those settings, you're not the headliner. Once you work up to the end act, you're just the closer. A headliner is somebody whose name puts butts in the seats. That's what a real headliner is. And I've had some opportunities to headline, and I had a lot of gigs where I just closed it because I worked long enough that I finally got to close the gig. So one of my favorite, one of my finest moments was on stage at Joey's in Livonia. And the headliner was this guy doing kind of a drunk, good old boy, but he was cool. And I was the feature. I was in the middle. And I was having such a great time with that audience, and they were having such a great time. And the communication, like we were really both in the zone together. They brought me, I brought them. We brought each other to get to this magical. It's like flying. It doesn't matter if you're being paid the headliner position or you're being paid, big cruise ship money, or you're in an open mic and you're not even being paid. When you really hit the zone, it's like flying. It's extraordinary. And this moment, I just will never forget. I was on that stage and we were all laughing. We were having so much fun. There was so much energy in the room. People were coughing from laughing. I stepped backwards. I was at the edge of the stage and I knew I just need to take a step back so everybody can catch their breath, including me. I'll never forget that moment. And Michelle Kwan, who I believe is married to the mayor of Providence, or is it New Bedford?
Not New Bedford.
Michelle Kwan, who was famous world quality figure skater.
Yeah.
And she gets world gold. However, she's never gotten Olympic gold. But in world competitions, she's world gold.
Hmm.
Michelle Kwan said, if I knew how to get in the zone, I would. There's something about the zone that is mystic, that is grace, maybe, that you enter it and the audience enters it with you, and you become something together, and it's the only way to get there is together. I guess the second time that comes right into my mind to think of something that thrilling was an SM meeting, a huge one in San Francisco, because in the 90s, we still could afford San Francisco. A lot of us, there was no internet. Maybe only somewhere that wasn't, no one had cell phones. We were live and interacting with each other. And I was having a great show. Shankar referred me to do this show because I had a bunch of SM jokes. I was never really a BDSM practitioner, but I certainly had a lot of friends and I could find humor in a lot of things.
Yep.
And I was deeply in it. Who's your grandpa? What happened when you people get older? I mean, we were just having a great time. And the humor was high and the whole room was in it. And again, we were creating something together by being there for each other. And those folks gave me a standing ovation that was so genuine, that just showed that they felt seen and appreciated. And it was one of those extremely rare moments. Well, not extremely rare. It's considered rare now. There was a time in our LGBTQ history where we really were family to each other. And it just was gay men and lesbians together, and no one taking anything out on the other. Maybe because they are all part of a subculture,
It was a
the
gay.
BDSM community.
Yep.
Pardon me?
It was a gaydom.
Oh.
It didn't matter. We had one dome we were all part of. And today we talk about it on our show a lot that, one of our friends is Asian, so he says, well, I'm Gaysian, right? We sometimes along the way, somehow we've segregated our own selves from our own gay community. We've talked about that a few times on the show.
Well, I can appreciate Gaysian. That's owning your, the multiplicity of your own self. There's something called intersectionality, that a group of Black lesbians came up with. They were the ones who from, God, is it Cree's Bend? That's where the word came from, where they were saying in the civil rights movement, listen, our African American, our Black people need freedom. And within this, there's another oppression, and that is the oppression of women. And within this, there is another oppression, that's the oppression of lesbians, So they're the ones who really brought us this term of intersectionality and this awareness, I could go really deep and say most of the truly relevant bits of culture on this planet are coming from Black folks. Like, we're all getting what fills us, so much of our gay lives are who's singing the songs. What is this culture? It's Black, what a lot of us are fond of saying now, the future is female. Yeah, because, wow, patriarchy trumps the boil on your ass that's showing, Well, the future is female. That's what's going to help us. That's what's going to save us. But if you're really paying attention, the future is Black girl. Yeah. Malcolm X said that no other body in the United States of America has been more put upon than the Black woman's body. It is her body that so much has been built upon and taken from. So future is female, future is Black girl.
So Eileen, do you want to read some of the I was saying, so usually sometimes during the show we have comments, Mimi. So people have questions. So Eileen, you want to take a peek, see what we got?
Sure thing. So let's see. We have Nate. Hi, Nate. How are you? Nate says hi, Tracy. Let's see what's going on here. Winter. Hi, Winter. I see you out there. Hi, Kate. Kate says she drinks kombucha, and her mom was a nurse too. So I think she feels your pain, Mimi. Michael Johnson says hi. And let's see, I think that's what we have right now. And I just want to say thanks, Winter, for your comment. And I'm glad you took care of that for me. So thank you.
Okay, what happened? Eileen, you're like a skipping record all of a sudden. What happened?
Oh, it could be the internet access.
She was just reading some of the comments that people call in, instead of calling into the show, they type in comments. And so we just read some of the comments on the show.
Can you hear me now, Mimi?
I'm having a hard time hearing.
Can you hear,
I
can you
don't know
hear
what's
Tracy?
happened because I'm using my I'm using cellular data, not my internet, because I'm in a rural area. I'm out here with 150-acre cornfield across the road from my little 5 acres where I'm growing black walnut trees.
Tracy, are you able to
So
hear me?
I'm using cellular instead of that.
I can hear you,
Wi-Fi.
Eileen. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's probably Mimi's connection.
Okay. So I want to, we don't have much time left, but I wanted to talk a little bit about, let's see, if you had any thoughts around solutions for supporting our community around Black Lives Matter. You began talking about it a little bit, and the future is, Black women. What do you think are some solutions for our communities?
Specifically because this is not just a moment, it's the movement, and the movement is civil rights.
Mm-hmm.
So the first step is please register to and go vote. I'm not inspired by Joe Biden. I'm really looking forward to his vice presidential selection, who I hope is Stacey Abrams or Connie Rice. But even though I'm not inspired by Joe Biden, I cannot bear the idea of further division and lunacy and ugliness in this country from another 4 years of this madman that the framers of the Constitution warned us against. So I'm definitely going to encourage everybody to please help their friends and family get out and vote. I want the LGBTQ plus community to remember we came together in pride marches before they were parades. They were marches for our rights. And we are now able to celebrate our pride. It can be a party, it can be a parade. We need to take all that energy and understanding of our rights and our privileges, because we all have privilege on some level. We all have a privilege. And unless you are enduring the disadvantage and oppression that comes from being kept down or discriminated against because your skin color is not white and because your skin color is black, that's the oppression. Let's own that.
Mhm.
Let's respect that struggle. Let's take our energy, which knows how to march for rights, and support Black Lives Matter. I have a Trump supporting brother who says the most outrageous, inflammatory, not even controversial, just straight up pick a fight, conflict driven things. Love is very powerful. I still love my brother. I just saw him. He's a redneck and he lives in in Texas, and we both have the same mother and father. Love is so powerful. I still love him. I can feel he loves me, but I cannot deal with his support of this.
And I think it's healthy to love, and it doesn't mean I gotta like you. Doesn't mean I gotta like what you're saying, but I can still love you.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you for that, Mimi. Thank you. Tracy, we're just
I just
about
want to say this.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mimi.
Oh, is this just a 30-minute show? All right.
Just about. It goes a little
I
longer
just want to
sometimes.
say that some of the things I've responded to my brother with are until Black Lives Matter, all lives matter isn't real. Another thing is white inferiority. Stop saying white supremacy. That's not the issue. The issue is white inferiority. And hey, aren't snowflakes white? All right. I like to push a little bit.
That's all
All
right.
right,
We'll take
thanks,
it.
friends.
Yeah, thank you. I want, Tracy, is there anything that you want to get to or update on before we end tonight?
Yeah, definitely. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago that Senator Montigny's office helped us. So we won a grant for NB Agley. And with that grant money, we're going to be able to do some outside activities or events for our youth group, NB Agley, the Bedford Alliance of Gay and Lesbian Youth. So this Thursday at 5 o'clock at Buttonwood Park, where we host South Coast Pride, LGBTQ youth and young adults ages 14 to 24, please join us. The first 25 LGBTQ youth and young adults who arrive and complete the walk with us each get a $50 gift card to Market Basket to help with nutrition and grocery needs. So we're going to be doing things throughout the summer. We got $5,000 to help with nutrition for LGBTQ youth in the community. So please join us Thursday at 5 o'clock, and we're going to take a walk around the park, socialize, masks are required, and we will look forward to seeing the community out on Thursday. That's it, Eileen, go ahead.
Thanks. So we also have a 4-week wellness series starting with Jeff Costa. So join us next Wednesday, not tomorrow, next Wednesday, Custom House Square, 4:30. You can register online. There's a registration event there. You will have a free meditation event. You will get a brown bag takeaway dinner where you can sit with us and talk after, or you can take it to go. And you will also be eligible for a $25 gift certificate to Market Basket. So please join us for the Wellness Wednesday. I want to thank Mimi again. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Market Basket.
Yeah.
Yes.
Eileen, where's the link to get?
Can I say something?
Please, go ahead.
Yes.
I got to say something. This is
Go ahead.
such a delight to listen to you because you said 24. Tracy, you said 24. And then Eileen, you said a fall week. And then you said Market Basket. I got to tell you, this is why New England needs the Latinos. Because when you're in New England or Boston or Providence or New Bedford, Mass, somebody will invite you over to watch Law and Order. Okay, there's no
Law
R
and
in
Order.
law, and there's 2 in order, but they'll say Law and Order. You need the Latinos to return you to the R.
We
Yes.
had Sarah Cunningham was on our show a couple of weeks ago, and she said she wanted me to read to her so she could hear my accent. She said she loved it. I go, I don't know where my R's went. There aren't any. There aren't any. There aren't any.
There are no R's in
There are, I can't, but when I say R's, my face goes, there R's. I can't. Yeah, Law and Order. But so Eileen, well, find me a good Latino woman, and I'll go out with her. You know,
Yeah.
Eileen. So people want to see Mimi's show.
Yes.
What do they need to do to register?
So there is an event on our Facebook page. There's also a link on the website. So click, it's free. Just register. And I will send you the link to get into the Zoom. And I think I should send it to Mimi, or she won't be able to get in. Would you like the link, Mimi?
That would be good.
Yeah. So please join us.
yar.
Register Thursday. I'll see you at 8 o'clock. I'll be there with Mimi. Register, come visit, talk with us. And everyone else, I will see you next Tuesday night at 7 with who, Tracy?
Lisa Lemieux. She is the president of the local labor union here. And we have a couple other guests we're trying to get on as well to talk about the Black Lives Matter and what's going on in the community.
Awesome. All right, everyone. We'll see you next week. And Mimi, I'll see you on Thursday.
Take care,
Have a
y'all.
good night.
Bye. Mimi, hold on.